So when you think about it, participating in games and sports demands a lot out of our kids. There's a lot of different skills that are required when it comes to being successful at these types of things, right? Not only do they have to regulate their emotions and manage their impulse control and delay gratification by waiting their turn and sitting quietly, they also have to remember the rules and follow directions, as well as consider the wants and needs of others and look at things from other people's perspectives, and understand the concept of fairness, and reflect on their mistakes and think about how they can be better next time, not to mention celebrating the success of somebody else. So it's a lot going on when kids are participating in games and sports, and a lot of the times, especially for the little ones but older ones as well, they can get really competitive, right? Because it feels like a lot is on the line, and it is common for kids to have a hard time losing. And so what I want to do in this episode is normalize this feeling and talk about the ways in which we as the adults can help our child learn how to lose gracefully, because this really is a skill. So let's dive in. Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Dr. Jasmine. I am a child and family psychologist, as well as a wife and mom of 2 little girls with 1 on the way. Around here, we love to talk about all things positive parenting, including positive discipline, tantrums, aggression, not listening, potty training, and everything in between. So if you are watching on YouTube, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can join our family. And thank you to all of my listeners on podcasts. I really, truly appreciate you guys, especially the ones that are leaving those reviews. It really just does help support my channel. Before we dive into how to help our child lose gracefully, I want to share a free gift with you, which is my free discipline workshop, How to Get Your Child to Listen to You Without Yelling. Inside the workshop, I break down step by step how to get better cooperation and better connection with your little one, and I give real life examples. So be sure to go to themomspsychologist.com/workshop to watch the discipline workshop for free. Let's dive into the tips on how to teach kids to win gracefully. Again, this is a skill. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of practice. But tip number 1 is to prepare them ahead of the time. Similar to, what I talked about in teaching your child how to ride a bike, right? We first prepared them before falling, right? You're going to fall, right? You're not going to, just get on the bike and be successful all at once. It's really important to prepare our child mentally. Not that, you're gonna lose and you're gonna do horrible, but hey, it happens, right? Sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. And so you want to start that conversation early. Start that conversation even before they start to play the game, right? Just keep that in their mind. Plant that seed, right? That sometimes we win and sometimes we don't. And shift the focus to always trying our best, right? Shift the focus from focusing on the result to focusing on the process, right? And having a good time, right? So when I go over the rules with my girls, I, share the really important rules, of course, and safety rules and all of that. But then I say, what's the most important rule of all? And they know it's to have fun, right? That's what we're doing this for. That's why we're playing this game or participating in this sport, is to have fun at the end of the day. And so you just really want to stress that, right? That is where our focus should be. And that it's okay if you get upset if you lose, right? That we all experience disappointment, letdown, embarrassment, regret when we lose, and that is a normal human emotion. So you do want to normalize the feelings that may come up if and when they lose. Model and kind of plant that seed that, I experience that frustration too, or that disappointment too. What really helps me is just to take a deep breath and focus on doing and trying my best, and trying better next time, right? Like getting up and doing my best again, right? So just kind of, again, planting that seed. And you can offer them other coping skills that might be helpful for them, like taking a break, sitting next to you, drawing out their frustration. I do have a video, if you're watching on my YouTube channel, I'll go ahead and link. I do have another episode about, teaching our child how to calm down, teaching them mindfulness techniques. So definitely watch that video, especially if your child experiences really intense emotions when they lose. That can be really helpful for them. So this is all the pre-work before they even go into the game or the sport or whatever it is, or the race, right? This is the pre-work that you do beforehand, just to kind of set the stage, right? And plant those seeds that it's okay to feel how you feel. We all feel those feelings. Let's talk about what we can do with those feelings, and let's also remind ourselves as best as we can to focus on having fun, focus on trying our best, focus on the process, not always the end result. And tip number 2 along those same lines is to avoid invalidating their feelings, which can commonly happen and we don't often even realize we're doing it. But a huge part of learning how to lose gracefully is being able to understand and tolerate very difficult emotions, right? Like embarrassment, regret, and disappointment, right? We learn how to lose gracefully when we're able to sit with all of those messy feelings. And so we are actually doing our child a disservice if we are invalidating the feelings that come up for them, because we're not teaching them how to sit in the mess, right? We're just teaching them, hey, get over it, right? You don't need to sit in this mess. You don't need to even have these feelings. Get over it. It's not that big of a deal. Let's move on, right? And I know why we do it, right? A lot of the times we're in public, a lot is going on. We're like, oh my God, we don't have time for this. What's going on? And it's a lot. It's overwhelming, right? So when we get overwhelmed, we commonly run the risk of invalidating our child's emotions. And just know that when we do that, we are sidestepping the process, right? Again, a huge part of teaching our child to lose gracefully is to help them understand and sit in the messy emotions, right? That's the way they're going to go through this process. So when we invalidate their feelings by saying things like, you're fine, it's just a game, just try again, don't be a sore loser, right? We're not teaching them to tolerate their emotions. We're just sending them the message that we don't want to deal with the emotions, and therefore they don't need to even deal with their emotions. So instead, you want to validate how they feel, and that it's hard to lose, right? Because I think we can all come from that place, right? It's hard to lose. It's hard to try our best and to not get the result that we are hoping for. And I think all of us can relate to that, whether that's at work or a hobby, or just, in our relationships, right? The disappointment that comes with life in general. And so if we can come from that place of, hey, like, I understand this is hard, and saying things like, I would be disappointed too, or I totally see why this is hard for you. I saw how hard you tried. I saw that you gave it your best, and losing isn't easy, right? Not getting the result we want isn't easy. And you gave it your all, and that's disappointing, when things don't work out the way that we hoped. And just coming from that place, it'll help us kind of calm down, but then it helps them, right? Because now they're understanding, oh, okay, like, this is normal. This is okay for me to feel this way, right? And I'm always saying, it's okay to have whatever feelings we have. It's about the choices that we make afterwards. And so these statements, just know when you're saying those things, when you're validating your child's emotions, you're making it less likely that they're going to lash out with anger and make poor choices and have bad sportsmanship after they lose, because now they're better able to understand themselves. They're better able to understand their feelings and sit with all the messy, uncomfortable feelings, right? You're saying, hey, I get it, and I'm not asking you to change how you feel, so let's sit with it. And that's uncomfortable in and of itself, right? Commonly when we experience something uncomfortable or a messy, intense feeling, our urge is to run away from it, to shut it down, to numb it, right? And so we're teaching our child, no, let's not run away, let's sit with this feeling. And that is going to do them a huge service in the end as they practice losing. Right? Losing gracefully. And then tip 3 is stop letting them win. I know it's tempting, especially if you have little ones, to, you're playing a game of Candyland or Chutes and Ladders or whatever, and you make it likely that they're going to win, right? Because you're like, I'm just trying to help you out. I know you're little, right? I know you're just starting this, and I know instinctively as parents, that's what we want to do, right? Our job instinctively is to protect our kids and to protect them from pain and disappointment. But we are, again, actually doing a disservice in the long run if we're always making it that they are winning the games, right? Because then they're not practicing sitting with the disappointment and sitting with the reality of losing. And so the more we shelter them from the disappointment, the less equipped they are to handle life's inevitable ups and downs, right? Because they're going to lose, right? So now I'm not saying we never let them win, right? And to never do this. It's just you want to balance it out. You want to make sure that you're also practicing a lot at home what it feels like to lose, and how do we handle that disappointment and that frustration and that pain. What do we do with those messy emotions? And, you know, bonus tip, when you lose, right, to be a good role model and use phrases like, oh, good game. You know, you want to role model good sportsmanship, but you also want to speak aloud about how it feels, right? Like, oh man, it's disappointing to lose. I really tried my best and I was hoping for a different result, right? I was hoping that I would win. But you know what? I had fun, and, you know, good game. You played a really good game, and now I'm ready to get back up again and try again, right? So you're just, again, planting those seeds and modeling what you hope they will say when they lose, right? Or, you know what? I'm not giving up, right? I don't give up. I'm going to try again. So every time you lose, use some of those phrases to show them how they can handle a loss themselves. And tip number 4 is to redefine what success looks like. A lot of the times it's very black and white, right? Success looks like winning and failure looks like losing. And so it's easy for kids to equate, right? I'm successful if I win, and I'm a loser if I don't, right? And that, you know, earning a certain amount of points or running the race at a certain amount of time or getting a certain amount of grade, right, is the definition of success. And I think our culture obviously reinforces these concepts. And so at home, what we can do to help our child with losing gracefully is to help them understand that no, actually success, there's a lot of gray, right? That it is subjective, and we get to define what success really means and what it looks like, right? And so teaching our child, you know, success looks like trying our best, even when things get hard, right? Even when it doesn't come easy, even when we don't understand how to do it all the way, right? We still try our best no matter what. Or that, you know, success looks like having a good attitude, even when things don't go our way, even when we don't get the result we were hoping for. Or asking and accepting help. That's a huge one, right? That it's a good thing to recognize when we're struggling and when we need somebody's help. And whether that's a teacher, that's a coach, or that's us as the parents or the caregivers, that we are here to help, right? That's our job. And so really promoting and reinforcing that success looks like asking for help is a really good one to teach them. Or that success looks like taking a break to cool down. Too often we're like, no, just go, just keep going, like get up again, try again. And we can run the risk of saying like, oh, to take a break is bad. And I think it's not, right? It's not that we're always giving up, right? Or that we're not trying hard. Sometimes, you know, what success looks like is recognizing when we need a break, right? Whether it's our body needs a break or our mind needs a break to kind of recoup and, you know, reassess everything and to get back up and try again. And so like really reinforcing that. I know we were just recently doing yoga with our little girls, and my youngest got really frustrated. And, you know, I love that my husband was able to reframe when she needed to take a break. It wasn't that she gave up or should never try yoga again, but she recognized she needed a break, and that was a good thing, right? That's part of what success looks like. And so really you're shoring up their confidence in themselves, right? And helping them understand these things and recognizing when they need a break, which again is such a healthy thing to do. healthy coping skill, right? Or, that success looks like showing up day after day and practicing and mastering something that they want to learn, or inherently knowing our worth despite our results. This is really, really important, right? That my worth is not tied to the result of this game or the results of this race or whatever it is, right? I am still worthy. I am still good enough. It doesn't have anything to do with me or my character, who I am when I lose, right? And so detaching those things, right? Success looks like recognizing and owning that, right? And being comfortable with that, and really, at the end of the day, enjoying the process over the results is so important, right? It's not about winning and losing. It's about having fun. It's about learning. It's about, working as a team, whatever it is, right? That is what success is if we're getting those things out of the experience. And tip number 5 is to be careful with always allowing your child to go first. And what I mean by this is like in everyday life, not just in games or sports or whatever it is. Like in everyday life, are you letting them go first? Because going first can feel like a win, right? To our kids. So it's important that we help them practice waiting their turn and allowing other people to go first, especially when we have, multiples, and we're, naturally do this when we have multiple kids. But these are really good opportunities to practice this skill of waiting and impulse control. And so whether that's serving meals and they have to wait for theirs, or, a lot of the times it's, I wanted the red cup, not the blue cup, and that they have to wait their turn, and tomorrow they can get an opportunity for whatever cup it is they wanted, or an opportunity to choose activities or books. That basically there's a balance, right? And they're not always being able to have the first priority to choose these things is really important. Or picking movies and shows. Again, just knowing that when you use everyday life to help them with impulse control, waiting their turn, sitting quietly, letting somebody else go first or have the first choice, you're helping them with losing gracefully. And then tip number 6 is to read books about the concept. You guys know I love children's books, and so commonly when we talk about these concepts or these skills we're trying to teach our kids, I love using children's books as a way to not only start these conversations, but continue the conversations on a more regular basis and open up these conversations for whatever questions they have, misconceptions that they might have about winning versus losing, and just normalizing, like, we all have to learn the skill, right? We all have to deal with the disappointment that comes inevitably with life, right? So I don't have all the books here with me, but here's a couple, and I'll go ahead and link my whole list that I have for you. But this one, Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn, by John Maxwell, is a good book about the concept of, losing and losing gracefully, and learning from our mistakes, learning when we don't win. This one is a great one for the little ones. This one's called Number One Sam. So this is great for toddlers and early preschoolers, teaching the concept. And here's another one. If Winning Isn't Everything, Why Do I Hate to Lose? This is for the older kids, 4, 5, and up. Again, about the concept of, also what it teaches is the concept of cheating, and why it's important not to cheat, and the concept of asking other people for help when we're struggling. There's a lot of good concepts in this one. And another one that we love is Whiners Don't Win, Winners Don't Whine. And there's a couple other good ones. So I'll again be sure to link all of the books that I recommend. The Magical Yet is another one that I love. That really helps build that mindset around that growth mindset, right? Around not giving up and really taking our time to learn things and master things. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up if this was helpful for you, and let me know down in the comments if you are watching on YouTube what other skills you want to teach your child to learn, so that I can try my best to make relevant resources for you. And again, if you are listening in on podcast, I see you. Huge thank you to everybody who has left a review and just let me know your feedback on the content that I provide. And after this video, be sure to, or after this episode, I should say, be sure to check out my free discipline workshop, how to get your child to listen to you without yelling, where I break down step by step how to get better cooperation, and I provide real life examples so that it's all concrete and tangible. So you can go to themomspsychologist.com/workshop to watch the workshop for free. That is all I have for this video, or this episode, I should say. That is all I have for this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.